Well, howdy there, internet people. This is Michael here at 3D Print Everything. We are doing the second look at this ProMega. So this is like second impressions, I would say. And clearly we got it moving and working. And I'm going to go over some other things with it. So since you last saw it, I went ahead and put the plexiglass on it. So some really nice thin plexiglass, nice and noisy. This is a little thicker, but it's kind of neat. They did, they at least put little bolts in this with magnets so that like this is removable to take your prints out, and they intend on you putting one up top here, but I didn't think I was going to do that. Excuse me. They also mount the the filament holder to the back here. Did I not tighten that? I guess I didn't tighten it all the way. Yeah, there's a screw back here I didn't get fully tight. That's lame. That might end up coming off. Anyways, so it seems to work, and I joined the Facebook group, and the Facebook group seemed to be a mix of like new people getting added and some people showing success with the printers, but more people than not just literally filling this thing full of trash and throwing it away. So that's kind of a shame, and I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure this company is defunct now. I think they went out of business. If I remember right, I think this printer is like 6 years old. I'm not sure. I don't know how old the Do It 2 Wi-Fi board is. I know they already have the 3 or 4 out. Yeah, I think they have a 3 or 4 out now. But anyways, it's an older printer, but at the time was built, I think, for the pro hobbyist, in that it had a lot of really good features and things to it, but it was just kind of built as a hobbyist printer, and it looks real good and works real good initially, but over time it might be tricky, because that's essentially what a lot of people have said with it, is it's kind of difficult to work with. And even today, to get this started, I've been at it for in and out of like an hour. So like I have to home it before it will start a print. So I can't just start a print and it'll home itself. It has to be homed first. So that was a little weird and lame. This fan, I'm not sure. Like there's some bolts on the backside of where the fan bolt holes are, and I think those are supposed to go through this, and that's what holds this whole thing in place. Otherwise this fan just slides down. It doesn't seem to slide down easily, but it could, over a really long print, probably slide down. So I'll probably have to figure out something to keep that in place. But yeah, so that's interesting. And what else is interesting? So these pulleys. So on other printers that I've had these like double half pulleys, the belts I've seen tend to get to a point of wearing because of the pulleys and whatnot. And we might even be able to kind of start seeing that on this one, where that groove there in the middle is going to start wearing into the belt itself. So I'm semi-worried that, this doesn't look like it has a lot of print hours on it, but I'm thinking that this pulley system is going to potentially be an issue. Now, one thing that's definitely an issue already and will be in the future, like, okay, at least that's working now. Like, 1 or 2 of these pulleys weren't even spinning before. I put some lube on them and now they're spinning. But anyways, what we're looking at here and what I want to point out is this is a screw. So it's a screw all the way through. So it's threaded all the way down, and threads, when you put a pulley over it, will always tear into the screw. As you're going back and forth, you're up against a sharp object, even though it's kind of dispersed or decentralized. That's not the best term for it, but it's there's a lot of different threads on there, so it's not it's not just pointing on like a knife edge point. It's pointing on like 5 knife edge points, but those do start wearing into a pulley, and I've had that happen a lot. So little screws like this and larger screws like that over time are eventually going to eat up every one of these pulleys. Now, if they had done some type of rod, or if they had done some type of screw that was straight, and then at the very end it had a nut, or it was threaded for then a nut, that would be ideal. And that's how Like if you look at the Titan extruders, all the Titan extruders have like, this much non-threaded rod, and then it turns into threading at the very end of the piece, and that's to let your extruder gear free spin on that rod instead of spinning back and forth on a thread. So threads on bearings, not good. The stability of the bars though, that's good. The machined aluminum parts, that's good. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure this thing only rides on like this, so there is no like bearing here other than that little black C-clip thing. So I wonder how long that'll last. It looks like a little rubber piece or something that it's kind of floating on. Yeah, somewhere around here yesterday the filament stopped feeding, so I'm thinking it had something to do with how much weight, because I was pulling it from down here and it wasn't really like easy to pull. I think this will be a little bit easier for it to pull, so that should be okay. Where they wanted to mount the filament was in the back, and I don't have room for it to do that, and I think that was also kind of silly anyways, so I literally haven't mounted on another printer, but I'll figure out another filament mounting solution for it. So second impressions are like, okay, it's cool. I'm really glad it works, especially since I literally just had this dropped off to me for free. So I'm always down to take anybody's free printer and check it out. I hope this will be a good producer for me. I foresee it being odd, but not overall too tricky for someone that's dealt with a lot of printers. Now, now when I did start this one time, the bed just came up and was going rah, 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 and it was moving this fast. I mean, it was like going up to the nozzle and then rah, rah, rah. I don't know why. I immediately emergency stopped it, and I just literally homed it and restarted it, and it was working. So it's got some quirks to it, that's for sure. And oh yeah, to show you if you didn't see before, this is the Z setup. So it's a pulleyed Z setup on a rod through the whole bed. Kind of interesting. The fact they wrap the wires around like that, kind of interesting. Intriguing. But yeah, one thing I noticed too is there's a lot of holes that aren't filled with anything. So that kind of intrigues me as well. Like, what are you doing with all these holes? But yeah, it's an interesting printer. I think I'll be able to use it and work with it. The print quality so far looks decent. It's not. Oh, I can't zoom on this one. It looks pretty good so far. I mean, I'm happy with that. I would say that's average to above average. It might not be the best FDM I've ever seen, but it's definitely good. That's on par with a good King Rune tune or whatever, and it seems to be moving quick, so all that's good. The cable chain's nice. Yeah, second impressions I think are standard still with the first impressions. I give it like a 7.5 out of 10, maybe an 8 out of 10. Yeah, there's still some things that could be better about it, but overall, for the price, great. For $2,500, I would say you're probably hard pressed to want to buy it for that. But if this printer was like $800 maybe, or $1,000, maybe it's worth that. I don't know. We'll play with it some more and see how it does. It's definitely lightweight, and that's nice. But who the hell, who would be transporting something this big, even it being lightweight? This printers this big are generally closer to installations than mobile units. But it does work, and I'm not disappointed. I'm not unhappy. I'm overall pleased, and I think it must have just been a shame for these guys. I wish they had been able to maybe take this to a second or third version. I would love to see what this would look like if they had 5 years to sell some of them and improve and make another design or two. So yeah, but that's my ProMega second opinion on this goofy printer that was dropped off to me. So we'll play with it some more and let you know how it does. Thanks, guys. Have a good day.